All right, so what we're going to start here with is the next one. So here's my file, and here's my layer. So I'm just going to unlock my original layer, and I'm going to delete my layer background. I'm going to go to my draw layer. I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need it right now. I'm going to take this and just move it off to the side. And then I'm going to go to my original layer, and I'm going to go to my lesson, and I'm going to grab these fruit. And I'm going to drop the fruit in, and I'm just going to hold the shift key, scale it down, get it to fit the size roughly. And then I'm going to lock it. I'm going to go to my swatch panel, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the colors that I'm using right now. You would want to grab all of the colors, so I'm going to get this yellowish color, and then get in there. Go under bottles. It went under bottles. We don't want it to go under bottles. All right, 8. So I'm going to grab my yellow color. I'm going to grab this beige-ish color. I'm going to grab my green color. I'm just tucking these up so they don't fall into that folder. And I'm going to grab the brown color. All right, so I have those all set. Now, the first thing I'm going to do with this is it's round, but it's not completely round. So there's a couple ways to do anything. I'm going to go ahead and just make an oval shape, all right, with the shape tool, okay, the ellipse tool. And I'm going to try to just get it, and you notice I'm snapping. So I'm actually going to go and I'm going to turn off my smart guides for now. So I can do this where I want to snap it to, which is right about there. I'm then going to grab the direct selection tool, and I'm going to click on this point, and I'm going to pull it a little over and down. And I'm going to grab this point and over and down again. And you'll see I'm a tad off, so then I'm going to go ahead and just adjust this a little bit, all right? And I can use my handles to do the same thing, and it's not, I'm going to pull out so you can see it makes it wider. Okay, I'm going to get right about there. All right, so I'm real close. I want you about as close as you can get. All right, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to fill it with the dark green. All right, I'm then going to make a copy. I'm going to hold the Option key and drag, and I'm going to scale this down to fit the inside shape. Okay, and I'm using this inside shape to cheat. And I'm going to take that, I'm going to fill that with this color, and then I'm going to put them. Now here, I'm going to turn my smart guides back on so that this will snap right to the center. Oop. Okay, so I have so far that. All right, this piece here should be pretty easy to create. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pen tool, I'm going to click here, I'm going to click right about at the end, and I'm just going to round it off a little bit. All right, and it's weird because it has a fill. I don't want it to have a fill. I want it to have a stroke. Remember, I can swap those out right there. And then I'm going to go to my properties, and I'm going to bump that stroke up till it matches. I am going to click on stroke, and I'm going to round the caps. All right, I want my stroke color to be that dark brown color. Okay, and then I can take my little stem here, put it on top, and then of course I'm going to arrange send to back. Follow? All right, now I need the seeds. So the seeds are going to be pretty easy. I'm actually going to show you a little trick. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see it. Again, Command plus. All right, and I'm going to make a circle. This time I'm going to hold it. I'm going to make a circle. Okay, and I'm going to try to make it about the size of the end of that. Okay, I'm going to grab my direct selection tool. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to pull this out until it's about the shape of the seed. Okay, that fill color again is going to be this yellowish color. I'm then going to make a copy. This time I'll copy and paste. I'm going to fill this with the brown. I'm going to scale it down to about that size. Again, it's pixelated, so do your best. And I'm going to sit this right about that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to group it. Now, I could copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, rotate, 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 all that stuff, but I'm going to show you a neat trick. Right? I think it's a neat trick. I'm just going to create an ellipse, and I want the ellipse to basically run through roughly the center of each of these seeds. It's not going to be perfect because they're not rounded. The center of this isn't completely rounded, so that's okay if this is a little off because I want to show you this trick. So you see how they run through roughly the center of each of the seeds. And now I have this. So I need how many seeds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seeds. So I'm going to make 8 copies. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? I'm going to take this and I'm going to shift click this so I've got these both selected. And I'm going to use this tool right here. Okay? And this is the Objects on Path tool, and it's a new tool. And basically you take that and it says click target path. And if I click right here, boom, it puts them all there. It's really cool. It's fast. I then, of course, can go in, and if I want to go right here and remove the stroke, I can double click and remove the stroke on the path. What's really cool is up here, you can change the spacing of them, which we don't need to do, but you can. You can also rotate them all at once, which again is just fun to watch, but it allows you to kind of have this all as one packet. Again, you could copy paste and turn it, copy paste and turn it again, copy paste. This is so much faster. I'm going to take this And this part will be slightly off from this, but again, I'm teaching you a trick. That's that fruit, okay? I take this, and I'm just gonna put it over here. I am gonna make a copy of this because I need that for the next fruit, okay? I'm gonna group this together. So here's the outside, there's the inside of that one. I think it's a kiwi or a pear. Now, for this particular one, I need 2 copies of this because I'm gonna show you. I could pen tool this, okay, but that's kind of a pain. So I'm gonna take another copy. This copy, all right, for now, I'm gonna go ahead and just make it the lighter green. Oops, I just gave it a stroke, which I did not want to do. All right, I'm gonna give it that lighter green color, all right, and kind of get that set, all right. I need it actually to be this green. I didn't pull that green yet. All right, so there's my light green, there's my dark green. I'm gonna take this dark green and I'm gonna put it on top, and actually I'm gonna make another copy, and I'll show you why in a second. I'm gonna put this, and what I wanna do is I wanna take this and cover this up until I get about that piece. So you'll notice that this, what's left of this, like a setting sun or a moon, is the same as this. I'm gonna grab both these, and I'm gonna go to my Pathfinder, all right? And on my Pathfinder, I'm simply going to minus the front. Now I have this, which is arranging it in front now. Now I just need to adjust my colors where this needs to be the darker green and this needs to be the lighter green. Okay, now again, what I want in my swatches is I want a folder that says fruit. Oop, I spelled that wrong. And I want all of the colors that you're going to use in the fruit inside the fruit folder. Okay, so, oh man, it went into the bottle folder. This bottle folder really wants to just do something. I'm going to move this out of here. All right, so there, I got them inside my fruit folder. So if I'm gonna do the orange, you're gonna go through, I want every color you're gonna use to go inside this fruit folder, okay? So that you have the fruit, each icon set, you're gonna have a different set of colors for, okay? And I wanna make sure you get every swatch. I want you to practice making swatches, organizing your swatches, all of that, okay? So I take this, and now I've got that shade. Boom, that's done. We already have the stem. Wanna go back here, okay? I can just double click inside, I can copy this and paste. By double clicking, because I've got this grouped, I can double click and I can go inside of the group and get the pieces I need, okay? I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it right on top, and the same deal, I'm gonna arrange and I'm gonna send it back. So that's that, all right? This thing, simply, it's an ellipse, okay? So I can take my ellipse, all right, and obviously the wrong shape there. I'm gonna make it the same shape roughly, and then I'm gonna rotate it. Oops, okay? And that's gonna allow me to get the shape that I want, okay? And takes a second to kind of play with it. I got my snaps on again, okay? And that feels pretty good. And this, okay, I can actually just use this light cream color if you want to. I'm okay with that. Boom, I group it, okay? So there's that first fruit. Each fruit has its own differences, okay? With the oranges here, I can use that same technique I used with the seeds by making one. To make this, you could take the pen tool and click each point roughly where you think the point of the triangle is, okay? And then if you wanted to, you could round off the points, right? And kind of then scale it and kind of mess with it a little bit. That's one way to do it. You can make a triangle by going into your polygon tool, clicking on it. You want a 3-sided triangle. You got a triangle, okay? You can take your tool, grab the circle, and round the turns a little bit, okay? And then scale and adjust and kind of figure out which way you want to do that. I find the pen tool to be easiest. This is mild. You can see it's a little off. I'm okay if it's a tad off. Don't make it completely different shaped, okay? And then we can use that same technique with the path tool, okay? Objects on path tool. This is the pen tool. You can basically make 2 halves, boom, boom. Okay, you make the first part of the leaf, you make the second part of the leaf. Easiest thing to do is to make 2 of them. So you basically come through here, hold the pen tool, you can create, come here, remember, come back, go here, similar to what we did with the drawing with the guy with the feather in his hat. Okay, we have one shape, we get another shape, right? We basically can fill one with dark and fill the other with light, all right? And then you can, very simply, if I take the scissors tool, I can cut right down the middle of one of these and then just basically delete it. Okay, and that's your scissors tool, and scissors cut points. Okay, and that would give me this like that. Okay, and you know how to create that. When it comes to, here's your pen tool again, one circle, and then pen tool, pen tool, pen tool. The bananas are probably going to want to use the pencil tool, although you can try the pen tool as well, and the same thing, you can use the minus front system. So when you have one shaped banana, you make a couple copies of it and you can use that to cut it out as opposed to trying to pen tool a separate shape. Okay, and the strawberries, the cherries, it's the same deal. So the cherries, I'm going to use the ellipse tool, right, and make an ellipse that's roughly about the same shape as that, or the width of it, I should say. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my direct selection tool and I'm going to play with the points and kind of get them to sort of be shaped out, and it flattens at the top a little bit, okay? And that gives you the ability to create that shape. All right, again, be as close as possible, okay? And the same thing. So that technique that involved in the bananas and in the other oranges, if I've got this and I need two colors, I'm gonna make three of them, okay? Remember, the one I draw next is always the one on top, in case that helps you out, but I kind of get lazy with it. All right, and again, all right, in the fruit, I would have this color, okay, and I'd have the darker color as well. All right, you already have the green. So if I took this, and this was dark, and this was light, just so I could see it, right, I take this on top, I'm looking at getting that same general shape there, so it kind of goes like this, sort of, okay? You take this, we go to our Pathfinder again, we minus the front, right, and then we have this color, so this one ends up being the lighter color, and this is the darker color. We put it on top, bring it to the front, okay, and then we've got our shadow. And again, it's not exact, okay, but it's close enough for me. All right, if it looks way off, if it looks like really funky or something, I'm not going to accept it, but close enough is good for me. Okay, and the same thing, that's an ellipse. All right, so you'll complete those shapes all the way through. You can start on whichever you want, but that'll be the next start in the process. Okay? All right.